Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Joe Palmer begins now.
The Labor leader has also used his Tasmanian visit to announce $15 million to build a new mental health hub in Launceston. 25 new acute mental health beds would form part of the plan that would be located close to the Launceston General Hospital.
This mental health hub will be in the Launceston Health Precinct. It will replace the current Northside facility and will have a range of services in it, including outreach to the community.
The Liberals have criticised the announcement, arguing there is no ongoing funding for the proposal. A 28-year-old pedestrian has sustained serious injuries after colliding with a white BMW sedan on the Tasman Highway last night. The Eastern Shore man was walking along the highway in Mornington at around 10 o'clock when the incident happened. Police say the weather conditions were fine and the road was dry at the time. An investigation is ongoing. From vintage wagons to modern-day beasts, around 100 spectacular cars covered Hobart's Parliament lawns today, all with their tops off for breast cancer. Locals placing a $2 pink ribbon in front of their favourite vehicles, with funds going to the National Breast Cancer Foundation. Today's revved up event raising nearly $3,000. Some of the state's leading sheepdogs have been put through their paces in the first set of trials held in the south of the state in over 2 decades. Rounding up flocks today in the Huon Valley, with many local handlers preparing for the national stage.
Staying low and sprinting left and right, this Kelpie is one of around 40 hardworking poochers competing this weekend in the Huon Valley, in a first for southern Tasmania since 1996.
I like to trial myself, and there are no dog trials in the south of the state, so we really wanted to change that. So it's great to have the best dogs and the best handlers down here to work them, and it's great to see the community turning out to have a look as well.
Over the years we've had southerners in the sport, but far outweighed by northerners, so we want to try and even the ledger a little bit and try and include more handlers from the south of the state so we can put more events on down here and be more inclusive.
With spectators flocking in and bracing the cold to watch the dogs in action.
Oh, because I just love watching how brilliant these dogs are, and to have it down here now, it would be really fantastic if they had it every year.
And these local handlers may go on to compete for national titles.
And we consistently have handlers competing and qualifying in the Australian Test team and winning Commonwealth and Supreme titles. So, yeah, we go well as a state.
Tasmania is set to host the Supreme Australian Dog Trials in Campbelltown next year. Ruby Kamain, 7 Tasmania News.
When it comes to riding your bike for charity, few cyclists can look past Tasmania. Today, one group wrapped up its 9-day effort, just as another prepared to hit the road.
The final few metres in an effort spanning 1,200 kilometres. These cyclists have racked up the Tassie towns coast to coast.
Well done, guys. Woohoo!
The ride was fantastic, absolutely awesome. It was such a privilege to be able to get on those roads, beautiful roads, all around this beautiful state, and be able to do it and be able to add some help to the charities, St Giles and Soldier On and Mates for Mates.
More than $5,000 is now ready to be handed over. Organisers are promising the ride will become a permanent fundraiser, and Tasmania is far from a hard sell.
It really is the flavour of the month, and it is an amazing place to ride a bike. I can't even think of even a stretch of kilometre of road that wasn't perfect.
Meanwhile, on the other side of town, another group of Good Samaritans slipped on the lycra. Aaron Hester started his foundation after his daughter Lily passed away from a rare liver cancer in 2014. A rare form of breast cancer also claimed his wife 2 years later. He's hoping to raise more than $300,000.
And that money goes towards the Zero Childhood Cancer Program, which is a personalised medicine program for kids that have less than 30% chance of survival. It was the program that Lily probably would have ideally had access to if it had been around.
The group sets off tomorrow morning. Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
To the TSL, and Lauderdale has come away with the last laugh in today's clash with fierce rivals Launceston. While up north, the young Clarence outfit began their season on a semi-positive note, taking it right up to the reigning premiers before falling a few goals short on the scoreboard. Billed as the round 2 grudge match, the Blues coach got his side off to the perfect start in hostile territory. Never short of a trick or two, Henry Kerenaiwa answered back in spectacular fashion, with the home side finishing out the first term in style to be up by 11 points. The Bombers skipper extending it to 3 goals when things resumed to leave the visitors in need of a serious lift, and Thorpe was all but happy to provide it with goal number 3. Darren Winter was a notable absence in the coach's box, but it made little difference on the scoreboard as Lauderdale began to take control of the match. Joby Harper providing some hope for the visitors with this bomb from well outside the arc, but in the end the Bombers were too good, notching up their second win on the trot by 34 points. At UTAS Stadium, Clarence came out firing against the heavily favoured reigning premiers, but it didn't take long for North Launceston to find some form, with the coach providing the spark. The Rouge young debutants rising to the occasion, however, to keep the side right in it, trailing by just 11 points at the main break. The Bombers' experience showing through in the third as the home side began to boot away, but Clarence showed heart, refusing to say die and keeping the home side honest right until the final siren, with North getting up by 21 points. And it was the biggest crowd seen in years at Hillwood for today's East Tamar derby between the Sharks and Georgetown, with more than 1,100 footy fans turning out, the home side giving them reason to celebrate, coming away the 26-point winners. Supercar champion Jamie Whincup has spun out down the starting grid in one of today's opening qualifying laps at Simmons Plains. Whincup, who has won 12 times at the Tasmanian circuit, pushed his Red Bull Holden wide and lost control heading into the hairpin. Meanwhile, defending champion Scott McLaughlin continued his dominance, claiming victory in the first race. Practice rounds continue tomorrow from 9:30 a.m. with race 8 set for 2 o'clock. 27 points from WNBA player Kayla George has helped the Hobart Huskies along to a dominant win over Nunawading at the Kingborough Sports Centre overnight. But it was a night to forget for the men's side, going down by 21 points. It was George's final game for the Huskies due to Australian Opal's commitments, and she was out to make a statement. The home side stepping things up in the second term, with Ellie Collins also on song. The Spectres clawing back some of the difference to make things interesting heading into the home stretch, but George's experience playing at the highest level proved the difference, with the Huskies coming away the 12-point winners. The men's side struggled to recover from an early lapse as Nunawading helped themselves to a 13-point lead at the first break. Jacob Richards, the best of the bunch with 15 points, but it wasn't enough to spur on a fight back, with the Spectres never in doubt, dishing the home side their first loss of the season. Overnight, Glenorchy showed why they belong in the NPL this season, doing it easy over Kingborough with a 4-1 win. And Tasmanian sprinters Jacob Despard and Jack Hale will have a shot at qualifying for September's Athletics World Championships in Doha after qualifying for tonight's 100 metres final at the National Track and Field Championships in Sydney. Meantime, it was a good night for the Tasmanians at the National Track Championships in Brisbane, with Amy Cure claiming gold and Georgia Baker taking out silver in the women's 10-kilometre scratch race, while Josh Duffy earned himself a bronze in the men's 1-kilometre time trial. Finally in sport, there were very few surprises at the annual Cricket Tasmania Awards at Rest Point Casino overnight, with Matthew Wade awarded the Ricky Ponting Medal following a stellar domestic season with the bat. The Tigers skipper also winning the David Boone Medal as the best Sheffield Shield performer, while Darcy Short and Heather Knight were named the Hurricanes BBL and WBBL players of the tournament. Corinne Hall was also rewarded for a solid season at the crease, named the WNCL Player of the Year.
Good evening. Hobart and Launceston 21 degrees today, Burnie and Devonport 19. 22 the state's high today at St Helens and Friendly Beaches, Maria Island 20, 19 on Flinders Island and also at Ouse, Smithton and Lowhead 18, 17 at Grove and King Island, Strawn 16, while Lyowini had a high of 16. The satellite shows a rain band moving across the state in the early morning with patchy low-level cloud across the state during the day. Patchy low-level cloud lies along the east coast of the mainland in an onshore flow, while Tropical Cyclone Wallace sits to the north of northwest WA with the associated trough lying over northern Queensland and the Northern Territory. Tomorrow a cold front is to the west of Tasmania with a trough sitting over the east of the state, extending a ridge over New South Wales and Queensland. Tropical cyclone Wallace remains off the Kimberley coast and the monsoon trough sits just to the north of Australia. Northwesterly winds 20 to 30 knots tomorrow, reaching 35 knots about the south and west in the afternoon and evening. Seas 2 to 4 metres. A gale warning for southern and western coastal waters from Tasman Island to Sandy Cape, a strong wind warning for remaining coastal waters including Storm Bay, and a small craft wind alert for the southwest and central plateau lakes. 21 in Hobart tomorrow with a late shower or two, similar conditions for Richmond 22 and Ooze 21 with showers increasing. Launceston and Devonport both 18 and showers, Deloraine showers 15. Showers and 18 degrees in Burnie, Strawn and Curry. Partly cloudy in the east, St Helens 19, Swansea 20 and 21 at Whitemark. Looking ahead to Monday now, showers about the north, far south and west, snow falling to 900 metres in the southwest during the evening. On Tuesday, showers about the west, south and Bass Strait Islands, fine elsewhere, snow to 700 metres in the southwest during the morning. And Wednesday, showers about the west and far south, fine elsewhere. A sunny day across much of the mainland tomorrow, apart from a shower or two for Cairns and a shower or two with a possible storm for Broome and Darwin. Currently it is 17 and cloudy across the state.
And that's all from the news team for this Saturday night. Thanks so much for your company. Have a lovely evening. Rachel will join you tomorrow night. Bye for now.